Okay, so instead of yeah. Hello everyone, and welcome to the project on data analysis. For this project, we'll try to answer these 5 questions. So we'll consider Google's stock market. Here is the first question. Use the timestamp method or function to define a start time and end time for Google's market, and use pandas.io data reader method to grab Google's stock information. The second question is plot the high and low values of Google stock for September, October, and November 2015. And second section for the question, how about the adjusted close amount? And question number 3, what can we say about the variance? Is the variance of the trading amount for Google's stable over a certain given time? So to calculate the variance, use the rolling period method and consider 75 days. And compare your answer if you use an expanding method over this time. And what can you say about the variance if you change your window size to 300 days, or if you reduce your window size to 10 or 15 days? Question number 4 is, on how many days were the closing price higher than opening price? And the second part of this question is, how about the reverse? And the last question is, what's the mean monthly high value of our Google stock? Can we plot it too? So to help us answer the following questions, here it says we'll be using Pandas data reader method. You can read more about the data reader method here, pandas.org. So here we have remote data access, and this pandas.io.data is used to extract data from various internet sources into a data frame. So this will help you out a little bit. First, we need to import pandas.io library, and then we can define a start time and an end time and use this method. This is the data reader method. Okay, so instead of Yahoo, we'll be using Google. So this will help you out in starting the project. So check out the project, try it out, and I'll see you in the next section for the answers. Thank you everyone, and see you. Hello everyone, and welcome. In this lecture, we'll look at the solution of the project together. Okay, we'll start by importing the libraries and modules that we need. Import NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn, Matplotlib, and we have the magic function. In addition, we'll need to import pandas.io.data. Let's do that. Import pandas.io.data as web. Let me run the cell. So this is just a warning. And the next thing we'll need to do is use the data reader method and apply our start and end times. Okay, let's do that. Let's first start by defining our start and end time for our Google stock. So we'll use pandas timestamp method. So we'll call pandas timestamp method and then pass any date that we want. So the question for our project is, the first question is to grab Google stock information. So I'll use time periods between 2014 and 2016. So let's say 2014 02 03. You can use any time that you want. It doesn't have to be the same exact time. And the end time, let's do the same thing. pd.timestamp, and we'll set it to 2016. 11, 13. Okay. Now we can use the data reader method. So web.data reader, and then we'll pass our attributes f, our Google stack, and then the start and end time periods that we just defined. Okay, and let's save this in a variable called data. Now let's see what the data looks like. So we'll call the head method. So for our Google stack, here we have the dates starting from February 3rd, 2014. We have our open amount, the high, low, close, and volume. So we have information regarding these variables: the open price, the high price, low price, closing amount, and volumes traded for Google on a certain period. And if we call the tail method, we see that we have information until 11/11/2016. That's what we used. So we have answered the first question. The second question is plot the high and low values of Google Stack for September, October, and November 2015. Let me copy the question, paste it here. So how can we plot the high and low values? So the first thing we need to do is we need to get the high and low values for these months, right? One way we can do this is by indexing our data. We can index our data frame by using these periods, September through November. And then once we do that, we can simply pass this as an index, high and low, right? And once we do that, we can call the plot function or method on it. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So we have our data frame, data. That's how we saved it, right? Data. And the next thing we need to do is index this period of time from September to November 2015. So we can simply say 2015 September is the 9th month up to 2015 November. So 2015 11, right? So once we have information for this, the next thing we need to do is index it by the high and low columns here. So let's do that. So since we'll be indexing it by two of these columns, we'll pass those as a list. So high, make sure to type it the way it's displayed here, high and low, high and low. So once we do that, we can simply call the plot method, right? And then if we run this, we have a graph now. So the high is in blue and low is in green for months of September 2015 up to November 2015. So this answers the first part of the question. Plot the high and low values of Google Stack for September, October, and November 2015. And let's move on to the next question, which is how about adjusted close amount? So let's do the same to find out the adjusted close amount. So we'll do the same thing. We'll index it by the months from September 2015 to November 2015. 2015 November 11, and then this time we'll index it by the adjusted close amount. Let me see how it's written. Okay, so just close amount. So we'll pass close, and then once we index it, we can simply call the plot method and run it. And this is what it looks like. Okay. And if you want to see the high, low, and the close amount on the same graph or figure, we can pass it here also, close, and run it. So this is what it looks like. Okay, high, low, and close. Usually the close amount is in between the high and low, as you can see, mostly. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. It says, what can we say about the variance? Is the variance of the trading volume for Google Stock stable over a certain given time? Let me copy the question. Okay, one way to answer whether our Google Stock is stable or not over the given period of time. So the first question is consider a rolling period of 75 days. So for this, we can use the rolling method to calculate the variance against the volume, and we can plot that. Once we plot that by visualizing the graph, we can say whether the stock is stable or not over a given period of time. Okay, let's do that. So we have our data, we'll call the rolling method, and then pass 75 days. We are answering question 3A. And then we can call the variance method and pass, we'll index it by volume. Okay, and let's plot our variance. Okay, this is what it looks like over 75 days. Does it look stable to you? It doesn't look much stable over the given period of time, because you see here it goes up and then it goes down, up and down. So it's not much stable, right? The price peaks here and then stays stable around here and then it goes up. So that's what we can tell from this finding. It doesn't look so stable over a rolling period of 75 days. And question number B is, what if we use the expanding method this time? Okay, for that, we'll just call the expanding method. Let me copy the second part, paste it here. So we can answer the question in a similar way, but this time we'll be using the expanding method on our data. So data that expanding, and then we'll call the variance method and pass our volume, and let's plot it, run it. So if we use the expanding method, it looks stable from, I would say, from around May 2014 to about to the end of the graph, right? It looks much stable, especially it's more stable from around here, January 2015 to about, right, October 2016. So what can you say about the time period? Here we are considering almost 2 years, right? Versus here, when we use the rolling method, we only considered 75 days. So to answer whether a stock is stable over a given period of time, that period of time also matters, whether you are considering 5 days, 10 days, 100 days, or a couple of years or so. So in the next lecture, we'll look at the remaining questions. We'll consider a rolling period of 300 days and see if we get a different result from a rolling period of 75 days. Okay, thank you everyone. Hello everyone and welcome back. In this lecture we'll look at the